Hi everyone, this is the video that I promised everyone, just showing you tubs I use, dishes, hides, stuff like that. So I'll show you. We've got the four tubs, Gecko Rex. These are all 32 litre WAM crystal tubs. I can't quite remember where I got them from. It was a while. I think they were from Wilkinson's. I know Wilkinson's do sell these, so I assume that's where they may have been from. I can't remember. But yeah, we've got the four tubs. There's a gecko in each for now. It's heated with heat cable, which I'll show you all later. So I'll show you the first tub, if you will, on the first gecko. So in this is my female tangerine. Was sold to me as a jungle, and looking at her now, I don't think she's a jungle. So I'm guessing she's a tangerine. I mean, if at any point she may be het for jungle or something, I don't know. Or I don't know. She may have come from jungle parents. That I'm not sure. Her tub is it's got the humid hide in here, which is basically an old cricket tub with insulation tape all the way around it, just to darken it and blacken it out a bit. And then there's an exit to a more natural looking cave. There's paper towel on here. The paper towel that I use is this stuff, Regina Blitz. It is more for cleaning purposes, but I've found it works great for geckos. It's quite absorbent and doesn't tear quite as easy. I just think it's more better, and I'm more happier to use that stuff rather than your cheap everyday. I don't know. Your cheap everyday kitchen roll. So yeah, there's her tub. She's probably in a humid hide right now. We'll find out. Yeah, there she is. She's doing great. She's about 5 months old now. She's eating well, shedding well. She hasn't lost any toes. She's got no deformities like kinks in the tail, or she hasn't got any sort of problems. She's just perfect. Growing really quick, almost like an athlete on steroids. But yeah, she's doing great. She's a lovely colour. She's quite calm, quite chilled out. She doesn't really like a whole lot of fuss made about her, but she's quite chilled out. She's pretty cool. So you can see the tub's quite messy. We are getting close to the cleaning day. I clean my geckos every second Sunday. I don't see the point in cleaning it every week. You're just taking away their scent, and they're never going to settle if you take away their scent. I've found if I do it every other day, I find that the geckos are more happier, they're more chilled out. Just because they know it's theirs, it's secure. And half the time, all I'm doing is just replacing kitchen roll anyway. So, the scent is still on the plastic itself, but it's just, as long as they're out of the way. I mean, if there was, say, more than one gecko in a tub like this, if there was more than one, then I'd be more inclined to clean every week. Just in case of any spread of bacteria or such. But like I say, I'm only doing once a fortnight. So yeah, anyways, she's got as a calcium dish. All my geckos have these, because you don't need something huge for calcium. They are only going to lick it every so often. This is people in the UK, we get cartons of plastic cartons of milk. And they it's the semi-skimmed ones, and I fill that with calcium and replace it once a week. And throughout the week, I'll just mix it up and keep it fresh. Her water dish is a pancake batter bottle lid, I didn't see the point in getting her a huge dish, because I mean she's only a tiny gecko anyway. Maybe when she's bigger I'll upgrade everything so she'll have a bigger dish and such. But yeah, that's her. But yeah, I don't know if in the video I mentioned that I'll be changing these. These will change from 3 32s to 6 15 litres, so you know, we can put 2 in each, and then I can have more geckos, and they'll be housed individually. This bottom one will be for group females or babies or something. But yeah, I'll move on to the next one. This is my normal female India. Now the story behind her, she was bought from Pets at Home, which people in the UK are very, very familiar with. They sell great products for animals, but when it comes to actually buying them, they're usually not. You know, a lot of people frown upon Pets at Home, and I can back this up with the fact that this gecko in this tub is a pet shop gecko. Now I've bred her, and I bred her with a normal no hets, and she produced babies of normals, just entire normals. So off that experience, I'm going to say that she is a normal no het, so she's safe to breed with my Blizzard Tremper, and I can try and get some Tremper albino babies. Or you know, or something. It's just whatever pops up really. If I see something I like once they've had the babies, or you know, I'll be happy then. In this, she has her. This is. So yeah, she's got a food dish, water dish. This is just like a upside down lid, water in it, and that was an old fish food tub where I sort of cut it to size and melted a lip over. I've seen these, and at the time when I seen them, I didn't buy them because I thought I may get them in the future. But I bought them and they were perfect. These are brilliant. People in the UK, I got these from Pound Stretcher. They had a sale on of these, and they should have been £5, and instead they were £3 for 3. You know, so it works out £1 each. Essentially with these, all I've done is put a hole in the top here for, you know, access, and then it's just covered with insulation tape. The bottom isn't, because of course it's covered with the paper towel, and the lids I found, see, with a more cheaper sort of smaller tubs, the plastic lids are more brittle and more inclined to break, whereas these are quite bendy, so you've got less chance of them breaking. They seem quite good. And there she is, my little pet shop gecko. But now I know her genetics, she'll be a breeder. She's piling on the weight now. You know, she had an issue with some substrates many months ago, and you know, that's why she's on reptile carpet, because she eats kitchen roll. But yeah, setups are more or less the same all the way through the rack, to be honest. You know, you've got humid hide / lay box, and exoteric cave, and you've got food and water dishes. Fairly basic, really. I'll show you actually. Now, these were what I got from Pound Stretcher. Like I say, sale on £2.99, and you get 3. And essentially, all I do is cut a hole in the top, put some paper towel on the bottom, and cover them in PVC black insulation tape. These seem to work brilliant as a humid hide. The reason I cover them in tape is for a more blackout effect, so they feel more secure and that they're out of the way of direct sunlight. But yeah, there's the hides. So that's her setup. It's, you know, more or less basic, and you know, the setups are more or less the same. There are slight quirks and differences, but they are, you know, more or less the same. This, moving on now, is my normal unknown hets. I don't know, and I'll probably never know, because she's aggressive and she's just not a good breeder animal, to be honest. the last time I put her with my male, she stalked him in the bad way. She just wanted to kill him. So I think she's a more hot female. I don't think she'll ever breed, to be honest. She's just, I don't know what's going on in there, to be honest, but she's not a normal female. And I tried to put her in with other females, and she attacked them and made them feel unsafe, I suppose. And it didn't feel right having her attack other geckos all the time. So she's on her own, and she'll remain on her own. She probably won't even be involved in any breeding projects because of how aggressive she is. If at any point she ovulates and mellows down because of ovulation, then I'll give it a go. But for the most part, she probably isn't going to get bred at all, to be honest. So she'll just be a lone gecko that will be nothing more than a pet. There she is. She's quite a big girl. The biggest and the oldest. She's 3 this year, and I mean she flinches and stands her ground, and she doesn't really enjoy being picked up much. But she's all right. She's not too bad. She does bite every now and again. It's not like she does it, defending her territory, so to speak. But yeah, she is very much an aggressive animal. Just go up there. Go on there. Keep out of my way. But she feeds well. She's the one of my only geckos that has the strongest feeding response. I mean, you offer her food and she'll take it there and then, and she'll keep eating. There's literally no limit of food for her. She just keeps on eating, and she's quite mellow and chilled, but at the same time she can be quite aggressive sometimes. And then but yeah, there's her setup. Like I say, more or less the same. Lay box, humid hide. It's more of a humid hide for her. The reason she's got one of those is because she's so big. So I thought it would be right for her to have a huge hide. Then she can sprawl out rather than being squashed up in some of the smaller ones that I use for some of the other geckos, as you'll see later on. So she's got a calcium dish and water, and she'll go off back to bed now. Just before I move on to the next one, I'll show you the heat cable. Just while I'm here. See, the heat cable is snaked through. It's got aluminium foil tape to stick it down, and essentially the heat transfers through the aluminium foil tape and then works as just one big heat mat. When I get round to getting the new tubs, I will sort of line it across the back of the the back of the rack rather than sort of at the side, because of course the tubs will go this way up rather than this way up. So, but I mean this one will stay the same, but the other sort of 3 shells will go as they are. Before we move on, the heat cable is snaked through and connected to this thermometer thermostat. It's plugged in and it's set to a certain temperature. Now you're looking at that and it says 35.3, and you're going to say that's quite, it's a bit too warm. Shouldn't I have something, shouldn't I have sort of 30 degrees rather than 30, 35, 36? I mean, it stops at 40, and the reason for that being is the heat cable itself heats up to 40 degrees. After then, it, on the plastic itself, because the plastic is slightly elevated, it loses about 10 degrees, so it goes as sort of 30 rather than 40, and I can back this up because of my other separate thermometer reads 27.2, and that's plugged into this. Well, not so much plugged in, but connected into this, and it's reading temperatures of for that side. And with it all practically being the same, I assume that it's all the same. all the way through the rack. So yeah, that's just, that's how I have everything set up. The readings are from this side, and you can see the probe going down. It's in the bottom underneath the paper towel. And now we'll move on to my Blizzard Tramper. He's also also het for Eclipse, but he is a gorgeous male. I originally had a Blazing Blizzard male, and I swapped him, just because I felt with my geckos not wanting to breed this year, I felt that maybe the Blazing Blizzard would do better if someone could use his genetics, really. There was so many genetics in that guy. It was just brilliant. He was a perfect breeder animal, and I was doing nothing with him. This guy has been bred many years. There's the guy I swapped him with. He's got a successful larger group of geckos, and he's breeding. His babies were hypos. They were Tremper hypos, or I think they were het for Tremper or something. But they were great. They were very nice looking babies. So I have a lot of hope for this guy, and he's got quite potential really in the future breeding colony. But yeah, he is genuinely a gorgeous male. I really like him. He's got quite a personality, really. He's a cool little guy. As you can see, his humid hide's a lot smaller. It's just an old, it's not really an old, it's more of a Tupperware tub, like a cheapo Tupperware tub. The plastic's quite not so much flimsy, more brittle and breaks easily. But that's his hide. He doesn't need something to lay. Because he's a male, so he's just got quite a basic humid hide. With the same sort of theory as Sahara's. The tangerines hide, and like I say, setups are more or less the same. He has more specifically designed gecko dishes. It's not, there's no reasons why. It's just sort of what I give them at the time, or what works for each gecko, because of course they're all different. But yeah, so that's my geckos. The food right now, we've got crickets. I don't always get crickets, but I thought this would be a nice little treat, just something different. And there are superworms in this bottom one. Moving on into here is my mealworm. It's more of a plastic drawer unit, but it's got mealworms and various other things that I use, like this vermiculite in here I use for lay boxes. There's not a great deal of it left, but because I do use it for various other things, like the live plant in my chameleon's vivarium. And we've got the mealworms. There are literally tons of mealworms. I mean, you can't see them too great on the video. The light doesn't exactly help, but there is quite a few. There's I'd say at least a couple of hundred, if not more. But I mean, they're all sort of that size. They're nothing nothing really I can feed off, and they're in oats, and I very occasionally put potato or carrot or something in there, but it's but yeah, it's it works. This is the perlite box. I very rarely use this stuff, but I'm going to use it for future incubation boxes. But there you go, it's all washed as well, so there's not much dust. In here is the beetle bin, if you will, or it's what I refer it to. It's oats, egg carton for them to hide on. You don't necessarily need egg carton, but I thought it'd be put in there just to give a bit of space. Really, it's not so much ground space. It's more just sort of keep everything, so they're not fighting for places to hide or having to dig in there, and but there's I did actually kill a few off actually because there was just too many. So I've probably got around 50 in here, if not more. But it's quite a lot, and they're just producing more mealworms for me. So that's how I do my mealworms. In this top cupboard up here, I have an ice cream tub filled with old beetle substrate, and that had all the that's just got thousands of babies, or more, they're just tiny mealworms, like micro. But yeah, that's that, and we'll move on. I've got my incubator here. That's what I'm going to use in the future. In here now is my 3-foot viv. It's divided. This is 2 foot more or less, and this is about 1 foot in length. I'm not sure, the dimensions. But this is where my albino female is. I use this more of a nursery slash hospital for geckos that are not doing too well, like Asher, who is recovering from parasites from the pet store that I got her from. She wasn't really looked after, so I've tried to make this look sort of natural. Obviously paper towel and Tupperware are not exactly natural, but I mean it works. Hers is it's just a little tiny hide with a hole cut in this corner here. I'll actually try and get her out now. It's not exactly easy trying to get in these with one hand. She'll probably go for she's a little bit skittish, but there's not really other than handling her, there's not a great deal I can do about it. But there she is. She's sort of scary thin, but she eats. She ate a superworm, not yesterday but the day before, and she ate a cricket this morning. So I'm not at all worried. She does eat. She sheds great, and there doesn't seem to be any lasting problems. At the moment, it's just a case of getting her fattened up. But yeah, there's her setup. She's she's got a water dish, she's got a food dish, and a calcium dish. And like I say, the setups are more or less the same. They're always on sort of this side, and you've got humid hide and Exoterra. The plant is just there because it was a spare plant, and I thought we'll put it in there, make it look more secure, if you will. And this is the other half, just in case I get another unwell gecko. Really, I keep them all separate, get them all to size, and then they go in the rack. Eventually, Asha, this albino female, will go in with India, my normal male, and they'll share. But for now, while I'm trying to fatten her up and get her to size, she's in this on her own. I just want to focus on getting her nice and fat first before I do anything else with her. She is ovulating, so it makes everything a damn sight more difficult. So yeah, there's another spare, just in case I get another ill gecko, which very rarely happens, because I keep them all in tip-top condition. I'll just show you. I use the calcium. This is Exoterra calcium. This is a tub like this. A 90-gram tub will last a couple of months for me. I haven't exactly got a lot of geckos, but so I don't need a huge lot of it. But yeah, it's it works. And the multivitamin is this Vionate. This is quite a large tub, but I'm slowly running out of this, and there's not a great deal of it left, because I do a ratio of 2 to 1. So when I'm doing this, I use little tiny scoopers that you get with the Exoterra calcium. I put 2 multivitamins of these and 1 calcium and mix it all up, and then that's just just perfect for them. But yeah, these my setups. My that underneath there, that little space there where I've took the drawer out, that's just filled with gecko stuff. You know, various tubs, boxes, anything I may use in the future for the geckos. We've got my incubator, and there's my chameleon. I also have a 5 litre sprayer. You just sort of pump air into it and use this nozzle bit, and I use this for filling up water dishes, spraying down humid hides, and also hydrating my chameleon's viv. But there's his. There's no loose substrate because I do not trust any loose substrate. So that's, you know, there's his, and then I have my ferret's cage, you know. But yeah, you know, any questions, feel free to comment, and, you know, thank you for watching this. Alright, bye.